Hailed as the alliance that would reshape Nigeria's political future, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, became the unlikely home for former rivals, bringing together the heavyweights of the opposition. But today, there are whispers of cracks in the foundation that are becoming impossible to ignore. Joining us on the show to discuss whether the ADC can be a formidable force against the ruling All Progressives Congress APC is Dele Momodu, a chieftain of the ADC. He would also discuss preparations being put in place for the party's convention. Good morning, Are Dele Momodu. You're most welcome to the morning show. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning and thank you.
Well, Are Momodu, thank you for joining us. Two issues. We know that the ADC is gradually emerging as the second most powerful, or perhaps the major opposition party, if you go by the numbers, in terms of persons that have joined the party. But there is concern about the convention that is coming. Now, a lot of gladiators within the ADC. You have Waziri Adamawa, Atiku Abubakar, who seems to think that getting the presidential ticket will be like a birthright or a seniority right, considering the other gladiators. The other gladiators, Rotimi Amechi, also believes that he has had very significant experience, from local government chairman to minister of the Federal Republic to governorship, and that he is just as qualified as other persons. And then you have Mr. Peter Obi, who has been in the race, who has also been a governor, and whose followers, the obedient community, say it is either Peter Obi or nothing, or no one else. So what is likely to play out, in your estimation, in the convention of the party? The second issue would then be this, your recent chief with Femi Fani-Kayode and Reno Omokri. I've tried to just stay away from, talking about it. But you are here now. We would like to know what the state of play is, because Reno Omokri was very specific that any other time you criticize President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he will leave the ceasefire that he described, and he will come after you. Those two issues to start with.
Okay. On the issue of ADC, I don't think there is anyone in our party who can say he owns the party. Not Atiku, not Obi, and others. Nobody can make such a claim. That's number one. Number two is that yesterday I watched your program and I was alarmed at the rate at which people are coming on television, on radio, in the newspapers to spew blatant lies, to rewrite our history. And so I believe that is why I am here this morning. ADC will determine who gets the ticket based on strategy. It won't be at the dictate of one man or woman. My advice to ADC is simple. Time is not on our side. I have attempted to contest twice, first in 2011 and then in 2023. And I know that the head of the elephant is not a child's play. So if we really want to compete against a candidate who is not going to be a regular candidate, you remember I gave the same warning in 2022 before things fell apart. We must come together immediately and take a decision. How? I don't know. And what is my prescription? We have in ADC today at least 2 of the leading contestants in the last election. So you do not need to reinvent the wheel. What it takes to win an election is not just the crowd, it's not just the noise, it's not just your ideas, it's not how brilliant you are. Go back to the drawing board and look at how Buhari captured power in 2015. I was a part of those who worked. At that time, I wasn't a member of APC. So go back and you will see that what it takes. Right now, Tinubu is so formidable that you are not just going to produce a candidate who can take him out. It doesn't work that way. And I will go around the world. You would remember that Joe Biden was removed from the race by the Democrats in America. Oh, he's too old. Oh, he's going senile. He's doing this. He's doing that. Then they brought Kamala. The Democrats brought Kamala. She raised a lot of money. I like that. A lot of us really like that. But at the end of the day, she could not defeat Donald Trump. Donald Trump, everything was said against him. He is this, he is that, and old age. But he was able to defeat Kamala. In Liberia, where we have Joseph Booker, today, I was in Liberia just last month. The old man was able to take out George Weah, the biggest, the most famous Liberian alive.
Momodu, if you can come back.
What? Just a minute, sir.
Who in ADC
just a minute, sir.
will take the tickets, in your view, to defeat President Tinubu? Who has that? Who is your preference?
No, no, I have my preference, Atiku. That one, I never mince word. Wait, but that's not where I'm going now. Where I'm going now is that in matters of strategy, ADC must go to a part of the country where they are most disgruntled against the APC. The people who worked for Tinubu to become president were partly the Buhari gang. Today, they are angry. They are disappointed that they've been abandoned. Nasir El-Rufai is languishing somewhere in detention. Malami is being harassed up and down. So that team is waiting for ADC to capture. So when you go in that direction, you have Atiku, you have Tambua, you have El-Rufai, you have others. Let ADC go all out to capture. If you pick Atiku, it comes from the northeast, where APC currently has the vice president. APC has the vice president from the northeast. But I'm sure the northeast, which is a major catchment area, will be very happy to have a president for the first time, maybe since we had a prime minister from that region, Tafawa Balewa. Okay? So the APC currently has its chairman, and they've screened him, and he's going to come from Plateau, which is the north central. So what do you then do? And that is that's where you have a lot of Christians, because the 3 major factors that affect election, number 1 will be ethnicity, number 2 will be religion, number 3 will be a lot of cash. And when you look at all this, in terms of ethnicity,
we're trying to save time. Your preference, I've seen that you are an Atiku man. So if you say you're an Atiku man,
Oh,
Peter Obi,
there
who
is
is
no
also,
question about that.
yeah,
Yes.
Peter Obi is also a very strong force. You mentioned two persons. So if he loses and the ticket goes to Atiku, are you concerned that he may decide to leave the party, ADC, and then reduce the strength of the party?
Not personally standing for any candidate. You asked for my preference. I did not say it must be Atiku. You only asked for my preference.
But
It's
your
simple
analysis pointed
logic
towards Atiku.
that today, no, there is Tambua there. I mentioned Tambua, Dr. Abati. I'm a scholar like you, and I don't just trade words without thinking. I told you it's going to be a race factor. I told you that. It's going to be about race. So definitely it must come from that direction. Tinubu, why would anybody worry to remove Tinubu? Is a southerner. He has already acquired all the governors in Southeast, virtually minus Professor Charles Soludo. He has acquired the entire South. So what will be the incentive for the North?
Okay.
To now support a new person when Tinubu has all the resources to just give them. And since they are not number one in the race, then even if they vote, they will fold their arms. Okay. Nobody is thinking about all that. We think it's all about, I am formidable. And then in 2019, it was the same Atiku that presented Obi as running mate. And so what happened? They didn't win. But that gave him a good exposure. The reason I was mentioning all those countries, which now you say you don't have time, is that, look, Mahama probably would never have been president. If he was not vice president first. Your boss, your former boss, President Goodluck Jonathan, would probably have not been president if he was not vice president. So we must have this strategy of learning the rope. The most experienced politician you have in Nigeria today, administrator you have in Nigeria today, is Atiku.
Okay. I hear your argument, sir.
His network over time.
Yes, sir. I hear your argument, sir, for your preferred candidates, that it would make political sense based on antecedents for him to be on the ticket of the ADC. But there are certain challenges that might be posed to his candidature. Number one is that what the South is saying is that we've only done 4 years. Ideally, 8 years, even though it's not constitutionally backed, but there's an unwritten rule around 8 years has gone to the North, 8 years to the South. And so if anyone would displace President Tinubu from the ADC, it should be a Southerner. And then the deputy, using your logic around vice, can then emerge later on as president. And that's also, people are saying that perhaps a winning ticket for the ADC might very well be a Peter Obi-Kwankwaso coalition based on their following, the Kwankwasia movement, the obedient movement, and Atiku should be more the statesman, you know, in the interests of the party. That if you're going to have any chance at the polls, he might want to consider that. What do you have to say about that?
My dear sister, let's stop promoting this fallacy. Number one, there has never been a time the North did 8 years, the South did 8 years, the North did 8 years. This is a new strategy by those who cannot compete. Obasanjo did 8 years, after which Yar'Adua did 3 years. So who fought at that time? Did anyone fight after Jonathan finished the 1 year, after the demise of his boss? Did anyone fight to say the North should get the power and finish their 8 years? It never happened. As a matter of fact, Jonathan contested in 2011 and won. So he did a total of 5 years. After that, he contested again for 4 years. I did not hear any journalist come to preach about, oh, what is happening to Yar'Adua's time. Let us stop promoting this falsehood. It's a falsehood. That's number one. Today, there is a deficit for the North if you want to go that route. The other thing is that the Constitution of Nigeria does not stop anyone from contesting. That is why Buhari was contesting all the time and nobody stopped him. Nobody stopped him. So will you now say gentleman's agreement is superior to the Constitution of Nigeria? Hey, Ruben Abati, you are a lawyer. I would like to throw it back at you. That are you saying that the meeting of people in a party supersedes that of the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria? It is because people are not bold enough, people get bullied easily, they are afraid of speaking up. What is fair is fair. We're in a democracy. So if the argument is that the South feels it is our turn, I'm a Southerner. I have nothing against to be or any Southerner who aspires. But today, you can see I'm talking about strategy. You asked me, can Tinubu be defeated? Who can defeat Tinubu? And I'm telling you that I don't care a personality. The strategy, if I'm to advise ADC today, is that go to the north where there is crisis, preponderance of it all over the places. Religion is going to play a factor. The Northeast will prefer a number one to a number two that they are not even sure if they will get the next time. We're talking strategy here. I'm not talking about a person. I'm a spokesman. I was a director of strategy. I'm not a spokesman for anybody. So the analysis, and I hope the ADC is listening, and opposition in general is listening. You must go to those who need incentives. Give them the incentive, because you can't compete with Tinubu when it comes to money. When it comes to structures, you can't compete with him. So the only way you can compete is technically. You have to be technical about this game. And I don't know why people cannot see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basho, the point you made that the Northerners didn't say they didn't want President Jonathan to succeed his boss. Well, you know, we need to double check that, because there was a lot of resistance from the North. And the argument was that the Constitution is superior to whatever emotions other people may have, leading to the doctrine of necessity that ensured that the integrity of the Constitution in that at that time, you know, was sustained. And that was how President Jonathan completed that remaining 1 year that you referred to. But I wanted to take you back to this controversy between you, Femi Fani-Kayode, and Reno Omokri. Where is the state of play right now? Because we didn't get to that.
No, my priority is what you just mentioned now. I've moved past Femi and whoever. Now, the priority is that I was one of those who fought at that time. The enough is enough rally started in 2010. I was one of those who invited Charlie Boy. We all went on the street in Abuja. I've always been consistent about one thing, about fairness. So, and I see it, Jonathan would have had 9 years if he won in 2015. So there is no question about that. He was allowed to contest twice after completing 1 year. So we can now move on the issue of those who tried to bully me. You know, I have a record. I cannot be bullied. The message sometimes is not always as important as the messenger. So people have intervened and they've told, I must give credit to Femi, you know, for his maturity in talking to the Attorney General of Ondo State, Kayode Ajulo, who is our Aburo, and he stepped in. So that is over. It's all settled.
Okay, that's good to hear. Now, let's get back to politics. Now, since you've talked about focusing as a strategic direction to focus on the North, if you were going to advise the opposition, we had in the news earlier this week conversations around Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso possibly going to the ADC. In the event that he does go to the ADC, would that be a more viable candidate with regards to, if you consider his popularity with his Kwakwasiya movement, to an Atiku Abubakar? In your estimation, what do you think?
No, it's going to be a rehash of what happened in the past. I said it, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You have two people who contested in the last election and did very well, almost neck to neck. You had Atiku as number 2, according to INEC and the Supreme Court. You had Peter Obi as number 3, according to INEC and the Supreme Court. So why do you want to dissipate your energy to now starting building structures? People will tell you we don't need structures. You need structures. I was part of the Buhari thing. Look, the amount of money spent on getting monitors nationwide, every polling booth, you must have your people there. The incentive is not there and the time is not there for you to start that. So you already have two people who have gone through this process and understand the challenges they face. And they've worked together in 2019. Some governors fought Atiku in 2019 when they picked Peter Obi. They said, no, we are superior, we are more experienced. We should not go that route. We are going to get, that is what the APC wants for us. For us to be doing all this staccato, we are searching for, there is nothing to search for at this stage. There is no time for that. If you ask my opinion,
yes, sir,
you already have two of them, let them go ahead and let all the others, Kwankwaso, you can have a kind of shadow cabinet to promise everybody what they will get. That is the only way. To face a Tinubu with all these governors, and we're still talking plenty to Renchi.
All right.
No
okay.
problem.
Well,
it will be on record that I spoke.
Well, the record has been established. Thank you so very much, Are Dele Momodu, for your time with us this morning. I believe that has been quite a strategic conversation, and those who have ears, let them hear. Thank you.